Hello, everybody, David here. Welcome. Here we share true stories from real people. Today, starting out with the first story. AITA for telling my husband to choose his PlayStation over our marriage. Summary. Original post, January 2, 2024. I, 34F, have been with my husband, a 41M, for 15 years, married for 11 of those. We have a 7-year-old daughter. We've had sex maybe once a year since our daughter was born. I've always been the one to initiate any form of intimacy. When we do, it's hard to get him to stay, and I end up doing most of the work. He's seen a doctor and has no issues, and he refuses to take the little blue pill because he says he doesn't need it and there's nothing wrong. My husband has always blamed our daughter for our lack of intimacy since she slept in our bed. I would try to invite him to another room, and he always had an excuse like being too tired, but then he'd go up to our game room and play video games. Our daughter has been sleeping in her own room for over 6 months now, and nothing has changed. His excuse is still that our daughter slept in our bed all that time. My husband is a good man and a good father. He works hard for our family. He works 60 hours a week, but other than paying the bills, that's it. He says he's tired and tells me I don't understand the stress of providing financially for the family. I work 40 hours a week, run a small business, handle all the appointments, do everything related to our daughter, I'm the class mom on the PTO, and do all the household chores. I do the laundry, clean, cook meals, grocery shop, take the car for oil changes, take care of the yard, I mow and manage 2.5 acres, and take out the trash. I pay some of our bills and cover all our daughter's extracurricular activities, which definitely add up. He just thinks my workload and contributions aren't on par with what he does. Last week I called him out because he had saved some FB Reels for me. They're usually funny food and recipe ideas he wants me to try. I saw in his search history all these skimpier girls and groups he's following, which really set me off. I wouldn't be mad if he came to me for sex and I was the one refusing him. I confronted him about it, and he said he didn't search for those things, and I told him I'm not naive and it's clear as day. Then the next day he admitted, yeah, he clicked on those girls' profiles and groups because he's a man and likes looking. Recently, he's been locking the game room when he's in there, and when he says he's sleeping, I know he's playing PS, and I guess now he's also looking at those profiles. I saw lotion in there a long time ago while cleaning and asked him about it, and he swore he wasn't masturbating, but I'm not stupid or naive. I really hate being lied to. He says I'm a hypocrite because I watch porn, but I wouldn't be watching porn and taking care of my own needs if he were intimate with me. And it's not like I'm going to specific people or their profiles when I watch a video. I've also been honest with him that I masturbate and watch porn. I admit I'm a hypocrite and guess I'm just hurt because it seems like it's just me. To me, it feels like he's not attracted to me, or doesn't seem to want me. He says he's just really unmotivated, and that's what I thought, but after seeing what he likes to click on, I feel like he's just unmotivated towards me. People have always said he definitely married up. I generally take care of myself and put effort into my appearance. I'm certainly not the hottest or most beautiful, but I'm not bad. He's overweight, short, and balding. So why do I now feel like I'm not good looking enough for him or not interesting enough to keep him around? I told him I wanted him to give up all his gaming stuff and not lock himself upstairs and spend more time with me and the family, or it's time for us to divorce. He said he's not giving up his gaming stuff and doesn't see what the problem is. He told me I'm going to ruin our family because all I want is sex. I'm just tired of begging. I don't think I should have to beg for intimacy, affection, and his presence with the family. I do so much for everyone, and I'm tired of getting nothing in return. I'm tired of putting my wants and needs last. I'm tired of begging him to spend time with us and do family things. The only thing that excites him is going upstairs to the game room and playing video games, and I guess now I know he also likes doing other things up there. We've done counseling here and there, and it gets a little better, but then it goes right back to normal. So am I the asshole and a hypocrite? Am I wrong and pushing things too far? Edit to add about our kids sleeping in our bed. We both allowed her to sleep in our bed. I tried getting her into her own room earlier, but my husband kept saying she wasn't ready. She would cry, and it took a lot of work and bribery to get her into her own room. We both have different love languages. Mine is affection and physical touch, and his is acts of service. He likes a clean and tidy home, and I do my best to keep up with everything in the house wisely. I've tried talking to him about what makes me happy and what I want, but he doesn't listen to me. Sometimes I feel like a spoiled brat because, yes, he provides for us well, and I can't fault him for that. It's just so bad. I want to be seen again. We used to be such a team, and now it's this awful competition of what you do. My husband really isn't a bad person or a bad dad. Our daughter is definitely a daddy's girl, mainly because I'm the disciplinarian parent making sure she brushes her teeth, does her schoolwork, etc. On days off together, he'll do some stuff with us and then say he needs a break, but he'll go upstairs and play video games. He really does work a lot. He says he works so much because he wants to make sure we're taken care of if something happens to him. Which his dad was never there, and his mom struggled while he was growing up. Sometimes I get to the point of frustration because I wish he'd just see what needs to be done without me having to nag him. Every year I ask if he can put up Christmas lights, and he doesn't do it until I finally yell at him. Christmas lights make me and our daughter happy, and he knows that, so why do I have to ask him to do it every year? My birthday is around Christmas, and he never does anything thoughtful. He says it's because he's working and doesn't have time to go buy anything, but he has time to order his games on Amazon. I've told him to bake a cake with our daughter and have her make me a card, take her to Walmart and let her pick something out for me. I want him to show our daughter that I'm important. I'm sure you've seen that TikTok about the wife's stocking being empty, and that's another thing I have to tell him to make time for me with our daughter. I just want him to make time, and I don't have to nag him. I think I'm just tired too. I know gaming is his downtime and relaxation, but he doesn't understand that prioritizing family comes first. Update 1, January 4, 2024. I am overwhelmed by the feedback from my first post and appreciate the responses. I didn't expect to be writing an update so soon or even at all. Also, I realized I was blindly angry when writing my issues to a group of strangers, and I wrote the title wrong, so I corrected it in this update post. Yesterday, I texted my husband the following. Why are we even together, just for our daughter? What do you love about me besides being a good mom, a good wife? What do you like about me? What do you want from our relationship that you're not getting besides financially? What do you think I contribute to our relationship? Do you honestly not want to have sex or be physically intimate? Do you think that's not an issue? I need a physical and intimate relationship. It's important to me. It's not just about sex. Am I not attractive to you? Do you not desire me? Please be honest. Why do you hide that you masturbate? Why can't you understand why I'm upset and that my feelings are valid? You think I'm upset over nothing. I feel like you treat my words as if they're water being poured through a strainer. You place no value on what I say. Why can't you see my pain? Do you think this is easy for me? Have I given too many idle threats that you don't take this and what I'm saying seriously anymore? Where do we go from here? Can we even work this out? Sometimes my issue is you can't be honest with me that there's a problem. I hate when you don't take accountability and blame others. We're adults, we make mistakes, and we have to own up to what we say and do. I know I'm not myself anymore, and I don't love who I am now. I hate nagging, yelling, and begging. Begging for help, your attention, and affection. I'll go back and get a higher paying job and contribute more financially if we decide to move forward. In return, you will have to help more with our family. Help worry about finding childcare for our daughter, who's picking her up from school. You'll need to help and call out when she's sick, help with field trips, help with packing lunches, getting her to extracurricular activities, and help more with the daily grind. He never responded. Instead, I saw he played over 3 hours on his PlayStation. To me, that speaks volumes. I guess I've reached the point where I don't want a roommate anymore. I just want a partner who cares and can see the value I bring to our relationship and our family. A lot of responses in the original post talked about how I just want sex, and it's really not that. I want intimacy and the desire to feel loved and wanted. I want our relationship to go back to where we were a team, and it wasn't this harsh competition of who does what. I guess we're past the point of fixing things. Now my concern is how to make this an easy transition for my daughter. I'll keep smiling and holding back my pain because, as a parent, how she feels and what she sees is my priority. I don't want her to feel blamed or sad. I know this won't be easy, but thank you, strangers, for your advice, even if some of it's dumb. Like I said, I know it's hard to have an opinion when you only hear one side. I'm not an angel in any of this, and take responsibility for my part as I close this chapter. I guess it's time to move on. When he came home, he said how tired he was and went straight upstairs to the game room to sleep before we could even greet him. Then I heard him playing games up there. I've told him and our daughter how grateful I am for how he provides for our family. I've helped him lose weight and told him how good he looks and how proud I am of his weight loss, even though he achieved it through medication. I make sure the house is nice and tidy before he comes home. I pack his work bags, do his laundry, prepare his lunches, and buy his snacks. What I get is most of our bills paid by him and nothing more unless I ask him multiple times to do something. When I invite him to a family event, he says he's tired and doesn't go. When he does go, he complains the entire time about how tired he is. He can't just do what I do and put a smile on his face. I think I'm just done. I've reached my limit asking him to make sacrifices for me, and his response is no response while he plays his games for 3 hours. When do I deserve to get more effort from our marriage? Related opinions. Brilliant Chicken 153. I totally get it. It seems like he's not even open or appreciative of the kind things you're trying to do for him. So the only other thing I can think of is to try to get him to open up about what's making him so unhappy that he feels the need to escape into his games every time he's awake. Hold him accountable for explaining what he feels you don't understand that drives him to game endlessly. When I game, I still make time for my family, and it seems like he won't do that. You may have made up your mind already, but if you're still on the fence, temporarily set aside your hurt and frustration, and try to understand from his perspective why he resorts to gaming. It might give you a clearer picture. I guess he wasn't always like this. It seems like something fundamentally isn't working. Couples therapy might help, but many therapists aren't that great. Not sure if it's an option, but maybe a trial separation or a few weeks apart could be a wake-up call for him. Also, if you have to go through with a divorce, I wish you the best of luck. They're no fun at all. OP, this is his response a day later. Op, if I'm not making you happy, then I don't want to force something that won't make you happy. I'm okay with whatever you want to do. I really love you and I shouldn't have to prove that after 14 years together. We can go our separate ways. I will support you and Landry to the best of my ability. Just a few requests that wherever you decide to move, please stay within 30 miles so I can see Landry and be able to help better. I can cover your mortgage for a $250 and K home if you put down $100 and K, and of course cover whatever Landry needs. When we sell the house, I want $100 and K and you can have everything else. I need you to pay off the Tesla. I owe $33 and K. We need to get at least $600 and K for our home, if not more. I hate that it's come to this, but I will help you reach happiness as long as we can agree on some terms with our kids and finances. Update 2, August 11, 2024, 7 months later. Hey, my fellow Redditors. Sorry to ghost Reddit for a bit. Honestly, I'm not exactly sure where I left off, but here are the latest updates. I'm not sure exactly where's the best place to post updates, but I figured I'd make another post. After the second post, I found some thyroid nodules, and luckily, they weren't cancerous, but I still needed to undergo a procedure to shrink them. My husband found out and was very upset that I hadn't told him what I was going through medically. After that, we talked again about whether he could ask if we could reconcile, and we both tried to address our concerns and worked on things. He no longer plays PlayStation, watches porn, or stays upstairs in our game room. I started working more and contributing more financially, especially with all the added medical costs from all the labs, tests, and needing to save for the procedure. Since I've been working more, he's been helping with household chores and is now an involved parent. We're doing better, actually having sex, improving our health, and communicating more. After the cancer scare, I realized life is too short not to enjoy it. I told him I didn't have the energy to argue, be angry, and be around people who were more negative than positive in my life. He knows if we're not on the same path, I won't continue in this marriage. Like many have said, staying together just for our daughter isn't healthy. He finally listened to me and started seeing a doctor. He's on a CPAP for sleep apnea, has lost 60 pounds, and is on medication for cholesterol. He generally seems to be in a better mood now. He's told me he really didn't realize how long he'd stay up playing PlayStation and how it affected his sleep, and he's apologized for being so blind to it. I can tell he's trying and making an effort to be more involved and present as a husband and father. He's also much more proactive in our relationship. He initiates sex now, and actually gets back into foreplay, and I feel like we're reconnecting intimately. I really think that with all the masturbation, he developed death grip syndrome, which is why he had trouble maintaining an erection, leading to a dead bedroom. The bedroom is fun again, and I feel like we're how we were before having kids. We've started doing little things together, like watching shows weekly, having date nights, and we even took a week-long trip just the two of us, and we had an amazing time. I'm not saying everything's perfect because we still have our days, but we're on a very good path. I don't believe in throwing something away that's broken until I've given my all to fix it. It's easy to toss something aside and start fresh with something new. Marriage is teamwork, and both sides must be willing to put in equal effort for the long-term goal. I hate that it took so many wake-up calls to get here, but I'm so glad we're where we are in life. Again, I appreciate all of you and this Reddit community.
MI 28F, overreacting to ending a long-time friendship, 30F, due to her constant messaging and memes sending to my husband, 28M. I never thought I would find myself in this situation, but here we are. For context, I've been friends with Sarah, 30F, for a few years. We've been through a lot together, and I considered her one of my closest friends. However, recently, something happened that I couldn't ignore. Over the past few months, Sarah has gotten close with my husband, and I was pretty much okay with us all hiking and eating out together. She came to our wedding, etc. However, all hours of the day, Sarah has been sending my husband, 28M, a ton of messages and memes. At first, I didn't think much of it. My husband and I are both friendly people, and I know Sarah has a good sense of humor. But the frequency and nature of the messages started to make me uncomfortable. They weren't just occasional funny memes. It felt like she was constantly reaching out to him. I tried to brush it off, thinking maybe I was overreacting, but the feeling persisted. I eventually talked to my husband about it, and while he assured me there was nothing going on, he got defensive, saying nothing is going on. I allowed them to still hang out, and I tried my hardest to not seem crazy, but yes, I feel crazy. So, I decided to finally talk to Sarah. I approached her calmly and explained how her constant messaging made me feel uncomfortable. I used I statements to avoid sounding accusatory and tried to be as understanding as possible. Instead of understanding or apologizing, she got defensive. She insisted that it was harmless and that I was being ridiculous. The conversation didn't go well, and shortly after, she blocked me on all social media. I was shocked and hurt. I never wanted to end our friendship over this, but I felt disrespected and ignored. I'm feeling a mix of emotions right now. On one hand, I feel justified in setting boundaries and protecting my marriage. On the other hand, I'm mourning the loss of a longtime friend. Has anyone else experienced something similar? How did you handle it? Any advice or perspective would be greatly appreciated. Edit 1. A good friend of mine checked his social media and Sarah's. Looks like Sarah blocked my husband as well. Phew. Edit 2. My husband and I agreed to marital counseling. If this fails, I'm divorcing him. Pregnant or not? Relevant comments. Commenter. Did her husband let her read the messages? OP. Hi. Yes, he did let me read them. However, I am sad that it had to come down to this. I asked him many times to stop replying to her memes because she'll keep on sending stuff. He constantly told me I was overreacting with their friendship and nothing was going on. I believed him for a while, however, I was just sick of her sending him memes and messages at all hours of the day. Commenter. OOP when told the way they reacted is suspicious. OP. I was surprised too. I let them hang out because it was mostly in a group setting, and I know she valued her friendship with my husband. However, her friendship with mine started to grow stale. She barely messaged me only for planning things. With my husband, it was memes, sharing her problems, and I got mad that my husband overshared some things to her that were going on between us. That's when I felt uncomfortable. Commenter. When told to check his phone. OOP. Thanks for your input. I will absolutely check his phone again today as her blocking me is fresh and happened today at 8 a.m. You know, I gave him an opportunity to be honest with me and tell me if he had any feelings for her. He denied and said no to all of it. After I got pregnant, he showed major green flags and let me be stay at home, and he ended up canceling his gym membership and prioritized my pregnancy. Our intimacy never stopped, and he never changed his passwords. He stopped hanging out with her physically. Her messages and memes did not stop even after he stopped hanging out with her. I still am convinced it was an emotional affair, and sometimes I wonder if he even knew it was an emotional affair. The update. Hello everyone. I'm sorry for the sudden post removal yesterday. My post had violated a rule on this subreddit, and for that, I'm sorry if anyone was in the middle of reading it. However, I wanted to share an update with you all about how my talk with my husband went, and I took your advice into consideration to have a discussion with him. When he got off work, he called me, and we immediately didn't have a good start to the conversation. My husband thinks I'm jealous because he said it's not infidelity for her to send him memes and messages once in a while. He said he never saw Sarah in that light, and that he just really liked her just as a friend, and he's told me that for many months, and he's just sick of me accusing him of infidelity when he works hard for me to be a stay-at-home mom. He never flirted with Sarah. He also said he's incredibly happy that I'm pregnant and he wants to start a family, so I've been a priority, and not Sarah. However, he mentioned that he and his brother had grown somewhat distant from Sarah in the past because she was immature and has blocked many people throughout their friendship that I wasn't aware of. She's not good at taking criticism and has fought with other players when they went paintballing or at the gym, and this is something Sarah likes to do, is brag about blocking people. Hence, why she blocked me. My husband mentioned other friends brought up issues in the past. Sarah simply blocked them. It's something Sarah simply does. Anyway, when he got home, we hardly spoke, and there was a lot of awkwardness. I signed myself up for therapy because he didn't want marital counseling yet. At night, we finally managed to talk some more, and I asked my husband if they blocked each other. He told me he hasn't checked but hasn't received anything from Sarah all day. I told him to block her, however. He doesn't believe in blocking anyone because he thinks it's immature and childish. He wants Sarah and me to salvage the friendship, and he wants to reach out to her so we can have a chance to talk about the fallout. His response about why he's so defensive about the friendship is not because of infidelity, but because he's disappointed that I ended a friendship that I held on to for so long and that Sarah held me in high regard. He thinks sending memes isn't any proof of cheating and he never flirted with her. He said he would heart her memes. He apologized for oversharing with her, and he thought she was just offering a shoulder to cry on. He said he's mainly sad about losing the other guy friends that Sarah brought to the table. They were all gamers and went to the gym together, and he's going to miss that if Sarah and I don't reconcile the friendship. My husband is also sad about all the drama this has caused and how Sarah's guy friends are going to badmouth me because I confronted her. He told me it's too soon for marital counseling for him. I didn't want to force that upon him. Right now, I feel like I'm in limbo and don't have the strength to just get up and leave him if that's the answer you're looking for. I will say I'm going to try to look at his phone myself when I have the energy, probably today, and confirm if anything is going on. It's easier said than done. A part of me believes him and that he doesn't like her, but their friendship still makes me feel weird. I didn't check his phone because I was going through a huge energy drain, and it wasn't good for my baby. I prioritized my well-being and kept things low-key. It was also terrifying for me, and I guess I'm not strong enough for that just yet. I probably will today now that my husband and I talked more. Update. Hi there, thank you. Sarah was my friend first, and we've been friends for many years. Even when I was married to my husband, she's been my friend. She didn't have an interest with my husband until they started getting to know each other better over video games / tabletop games, gym, paintballing. I don't have some of the same interests as my husband, and they started talking more about the games and hobbies. We started hanging out more, but sometimes I didn't want to be involved in their hobbies, and they went to the gym with a group of people, and I was okay with it for a while. But then she started to come around more and message my husband separately and her friendship, and I became stale. We hardly talked anymore, and I agree with you. She doesn't have boundaries. For all our friendship, she can't keep a relationship, and she ends up blocking every single one. The majority of her friends, not mine, are single guy friends that are attracted to her. This never bothered me, but she started to add my husband in that group of those single guy friends, and that didn't sit right with me because my husband and I are married, and she's living more of a bachelorette lifestyle. Honestly, it's not just memes. I wish it was just memes. She messages him about her problems and daily routines, makes plans with him, and doesn't speak to me at all. On top of that, she spams him with memes all hours of the day, including at night and in the crack of dawn. It's fucking annoying, and I'm tired of seeing her stupid Instagram username on his notifications. Fuck her. I'm glad she's out of my life. Relevant comments. Commenter. OOP when told her friend is a man hoarder. OP. I really believe that this the closest, best explanation and observation of my friend Sarah. She has a whole circle of single guy friends that she swears are platonic, but she treats them like they're her shoulders to cry on. I never cared about it, but once she started to get close to my husband, I couldn't handle it, and I started to question it for months. She blew up when I carefully communicated with her that I don't like her having access to my husband. She had a meltdown, and it made me second guess how sincere our friendship truly was.